Good evening, Emma. Listen to my purring drivetrain. Welcome to the stream. Impromptu stream. If that's the right word. We were supposed to do team time trial tonight. I think it was, but instead we're here. Seems like this is the time of year when, well, maybe not the time of year, but this is certainly when things start to go a little bit quiet on the whole Zwift front. People start to head outside, or people start to do stuff that maybe means they don't spend as much time on, well, can we call it Zwift racing, but certainly people are still riding on Zwift. I was riding on Zwift this morning because I thought today was going to be a washout, and it wasn't. It was actually very nice. I was a little bit annoyed. So that means that this is the second session of the day. Like I said, it was supposed to be the team time trial, but we're here instead. Why not? Try to beat Mick and Spritch in a sprint. Not my idea. We were low on numbers, that is why no team time trial. Effectively it would have just meant we were going to ride around in like zone 3 and obviously wouldn't be competitive, so we knocked that on the head. That's what I was just saying, like the Zwift racing, I think for a lot of people it's taking a bit of a dive now just because of motivation and other commitments, particularly outdoors, you know, racing. Lots of outdoor racing is starting now, so there's more stuff to do now. People aren't stuck indoors on a virtual bike, which is quite funny actually. I don't know if you saw, is my volume too loud? Or is it okay? Let me know. I don't know if you saw, someone commented on my Zwift activity this morning and said, is the weather that bad? Come on Ed, get outside and ride your bike. And I thought that's like the first ride I've done, or maybe the second ride indoors I've done in like the last 3 weeks. What are you talking about? Am I calling this another ride? You could probably call this another ride, can you? But yeah, I was like, what? I'm outside all the time. I'm never inside. How can you leave this comment now? Thank you, Emma. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining. Emma, are you signed into 2 accounts or what? So it's slowly, maturely ticking off some sessions. A lot of focus on, well, kind of getting back to where I was a little bit prior to illness and the holiday. So there's been a lot of concentrated effort in just riding my bike more, which is like the easiest thing to do, I suppose, with regards to the first progression. So last week was a 20-hour week, and this week is hopefully going to be pushing a bit more than that. Good evening, Danny boy. So the volume kind of takes care of itself, but the I've only been doing about 1 or 2 sessions a week, which has been focused around threshold, or at least trying to find it, because obviously without any testing, and I did explain a week or 2 ago, that I'm not wasting my time testing, because with the anxiety and everything else that brings, when you're trying to just get back into the routine of training again, sometimes that's the last thing you want to do. And to be honest, you just want to crack on. Take it on the chin that whatever you've lost fitness wise, you're just going to adjust randomly with your FTP, and then just ride your bike, and soon it'll become apparent what you're capable of. That's quite a very dynamic way of looking at it, but that's what I've been doing basically. And today was the first session where I really kind of stretched it out, and ended up doing what was supposed to be 4 by 15 minutes at what I think is my FTP, which is about 320 watts. But it ended up being a whole hour, virtually straight through. I had like 30 seconds rest here or there, but virtually it was 60 minutes all the way through, which really tells me one thing, and that's 320 is a good number to work with currently. But it does mean that potentially in a couple of weeks' time there's room for a big bump. But I'm not too worried about that just yet. I want to complete this week, get Battle on the Beach done, my first race, and then we can see where we are then. But yeah, how are the legs? The legs are fine. My backside, not so much. Riding indoors for 4 hours, not so good for your backside. Well, it is, but I'm not hardened to it. I'm a wimp. Right, let's get this fan on. My heart rate. Oh, you volunteered. Thank you, Emma. Try not to distract me going around the corners. If you're on a corner. So we're going to do this race, and then I'm probably going to have a little bit of an extended cool down. Well, extended cool down. When I say that, I mean about 15 minutes. So I'll be free for a chat at the end. If anyone's hanging around at the end, I'll have a chat. But this is a fairly short race anyway, about half an hour. So hopefully it won't be too crazy, and I'll be able to chat with you guys. So keep the chat rolling, and try not to ask any questions when I'm full gas. Just kidding. I haven't actually heard anything about the event yet, Emma. Like nothing about like start time or anything. Okay. There's Mick. Hey up. We've got the world champion here. The world champion is in this race. That's not what I want. I'm not talking about Spritch, by the way. There he is. There's the world championship jersey, look. I'm going to change the title of this video now. Can I beat the world champion in a sprint? Good evening, Phil. A truly superb, was it yesterday, 7 hour ride? Oh, a little bit over 7 hours. We loves a good big ride, and couldn't help but notice, obviously when you're on the island, it's a heck of a long way to the top. It was like an hour and 44 minutes, wasn't it? It's crazy. Lovely jubbly. Oh, there's a lot of info on the website. I better check that out then. I'm just so used to receiving an email from an event. Have you got any events planned this year, Phil? Oh no, burritos. That goes for anybody else as well. Extend that question. Anybody else in the chat? Oh, this might be a bit spicy. Draft. Thank you, Emma. I need to employ you as my race manager. Thank you, Phil Vegan. I just realised there's two in the chat. I just saw your name, sorry. Ooh, the Milan San Remo Gran Fondo. I don't know what to make of that. I suppose it'll be a good experience, regardless. Which road are you doing, Danny? I'm doing Crans. Crans. I might be doing a tour of Cambridgeshire. I've been asked to make an appearance by Resvelo, so I shall fulfill my destiny. Yeah, so chances are I'll be there. I know it's flat, but Pyrenees. There's a lot less grey in my graph now that my FTP has dropped by about 40 watt. It's all fun and games. Oh, there's another Phil in the chat now. Phil Graham. Not my neck. Indeed. Gonna crush him too, Phil. Turns out Phil's a very common name. Who'd have thought it? I'm gonna use my ghost. Why not? Doesn't do anything, but. That's a very sizable group that's got up in front there, isn't it? There's about 4 or 5, I think. Yes, I can confirm Phil Rich, so I'm going to have to call you by your full names now. The Dolomite is very, very, very snazzy and swazzy. Nice one, Kev. I don't think I'd be any good at that one. There's beer involved, even if it's a 3 point. Good spot, Phil. Good spot. Can't miss Spritz with his orange socks. An orange cap. There's Mick with the flame socks. I hope he's stringing out a bit. Uh-oh. Be attentive. Okay, don't pedal around here. Free speed. Kind of. Yeah, slightly downhill, so tiny bit of recovery. Charlie's sending me dog pictures. Not now. Not now! Yeah, you're right, Emma. If anything, it looks good. If it's damp, it's actually good. As you probably heard in the video I did. If it's damp sand, it's good sand. It's a little bit faster than the flour that we what was I going to say? Oh, the wind as well is changing direction, so we might be having a headwind down the beach. It's a long way down a headwind, but kind of good for me. So hopefully, even though don't laugh, even though I have lost a bit of fitness, my endurance is still there, give or take, so hopefully the last lap is my chance to press on a bit. I just had a WhatsApp from a ride I coach. He's saying he's going to be doing the dragon ride. Don't think you guys have done the dragon. Have you done it, Danny? You might have done the dragon ride, Danny. I'm actually down to do the dragon ride this year. No, she's at a friend's, Kev. She better not bring it home though. What was I going to say? Yeah, I'm doing the big one. The dragon ride. Like 300k or whatever it is. And a lot of climbing. Yeah, people have told me to do the thread, but it's I can't remember what it clashes with, because the Dragon Ride actually clashes with the you know, GCN do that massive cycling festival in Austria. Have you heard of it? Actually clashes with that, strangely enough. You never know, Phil, I can still blow. Especially when we work on the pacing strategy. Which one in Austria? The GCN, the Global Cycling Festival, I think it's called. It's on the same weekend as the Dragon Ride. Yeah, it's four. There's 3 bank holidays now this year, isn't there? Alright, just over halfway. A good wheel sucker. I like that. I like that kind. Red flashes and hills. Good, good. Is it the world champion off in front? No, it's not. He's in the bunch. Yeah, check it out, Michael. Check it out. It's the 2nd year in a row I've had an invite for it. I said I'd only go if I can get 50% off discount code for all backpedalers. Throw my weight around. Do you think if I attack, the world champion will follow me like he did in the first race in the world? I'm sure that was more luck than judgment. See what I bought from Decathlon, not sponsored, a soft flask, 500 mils. I put some energy drink in there, Sturka, hashtag sponsored, in there, and it was quite easy to drink actually, so I might use it this weekend. A battle on the beach, because the problem is, you know, when you go off road, your bottle gets covered in crap, and I'm always worried about, because it has happened a few times, picking up bugs. Thank you, Em. I could just give Mick a burrito by accident. Oh, come on. Oh, group. I thought it was coming across. Yeah, it's a big day out. Big day out. It's no joke, like. Just getting around it is an accomplishment, let alone, you know, if you do it under 10 hours. Which I know is a target for a lot of people. Which is a bit nuts, really, when you consider, you know, it's 30k an hour and, you know, the pros world tour. Sometimes they climb 4,500 meters with about 200k, you know, but they average like 35k an hour. Although the Dragon, you know, that route, although it's so hilly, it does take place on some of, you know, some main roads. So in theory, you know, you can actually, you know, pick up speed on the descent. Whereas around here, I've done it in the past, where I've done, yeah, big elevation rides like 3,000 meters, and the descents around here, they're so, like, you know, they're over in just a couple of minutes, and they're quite not dangerous, but quite twisty, usually down lanes, whereas, you know, Dragon rides a little bit of a mixture. So we still got my teammates in here. Spritch, there he is there in the orange lid, and Mick, and you can see there on the right hand side. So these chaps will be pushing me to my limit in the sprint, and we'll see what I can do. There's what is it, 25 in this group, so let's see if we can sneak inside top 10. That'd be pretty cool. So if I'm 2k to go, it's a pretty easy run in. Most of you know it by now, we've done it twice. Down the mile, 180 degree turn, and then straight back. Slightly uphill-ish. Got some pace increase now. Making sure nearest to the front. Actually gonna lower the table so I can have a better line of sight in the sprint. I've never done it before, so see how it goes. We've got a flyer. Two flyers. Three flyers. Oh, a couple are going really early. I'm like a James Bond villain here with this desk. Oh, stitch. So Rutter got the win. I don't know if he took a flyer. I would imagine he must have done with that power. Well, not hot. Well, no, I don't know. I can't really tell really. But it's weird. The timings, they've got it the other way around. Look, the timings between Anderson and Rutter. 24:00.6, 24:00.7, but they're the wrong way around. Well, almost the top 5, although there was a pretty big gap between us. Although saying that, no, 5 seconds are on the same time. 4 watts per kilo average. Mick and Pritch putting me to shame there with 3.8 and 3.7. Well done, boys. We filled the top 10 there. 3 back pedals in the top 10. Chapeau. Oh. So I'll keep spinning around for another 10 or 15 minutes. If you want to stick around and chat, then by all means. Wow, it was a fairly long effort there at the end, because just looking at my head unit, but if we look at the graph to see that final effort, there's a solid red for a long time. I managed to ramp it up a little bit rather than just blow out the gun. 860, was that 860 roughly peak? Oh, 870. Oh, that wasn't too bad. 800 for 10 seconds. I said it wasn't too bad. Come on, Ed. Oh, nice. Enjoyed that. Not so much grey. Well, there is at the end, actually. There is at the end. You can tell there, like, there's more grey there at the end. My heart rate is still in that mid 130s, and even though it's blue here, it's actually marginally lower here. This is kind of an interesting observation. Like, obviously that's earlier in the race, so you might expect recovery to be a bit better. It's also a smaller effort here, so there's yellow in the distribution here, so my heart rate doesn't peak as high. Obviously 154 versus here goes up to 172, so if anything that's actually pretty decent, seeing that drop there at the end when you consider the anxiety and everything of a finish coming up in the final about 2 kilometers from there. So yes, I didn't lead them through, Mick. It wasn't me, I promise. Oh, thank you, Giorgio. How's things? Mick, I went 600 meters to go with Ghost to be ahead of the burritos. Yeah, you were saying that the Ghost cancels the burrito. I mean, that makes sense because you're invisible, I suppose, but oh, my backside. If I can find that now then. Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Yeah, it's a weird finish, that one, because I never know whether to go early or whether to go... Well, it was fairly early, really. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I never really know. Because it is marginally down... It's, where that finish line is, it's like a bowl, I think. So you kind of come downhill into it both ways, maybe. So look here. Oh, pardon me. Battle on the beach. Event info. Oh, I see, Emma. So they've changed the website, actually. They've changed the website. So they've obviously changed it since race starts at 12. Saturday. Battle in the Dark starts at 7. Ah, cool. Interesting. What's the goal for Battle on the Beach? Well, it's the first time I've done this sort of thing. Well, obviously I've done cyclocross, haven't I? But I don't know. I think there's I don't even know how many people there are actually. But I think I'd like to finish. Yes, stay upright. I'd like to finish. Yeah, that's that's the goal. I think I'd like to get a top 50. I think it'd be a tough ask, but that would be the competition goal, I suppose. And my second goal is obviously to make a kick-ass video out of it. GCN are going to be there as well, but I want to make something that I guess represents, you know, a beginner's perspective a little bit, because what I find always curious about these things is that, like, you know, I come from an elite background in sport then, or cycling rather, and then I'm doing this event where I'm completely outside of a cover, so the perspective of it is quite unique, I think. So, you know, it's like, that would be my non-performance goal. And then of course I want to beat Emma and I want to beat Bryn. I want to beat the guys I've been riding with. Yeah, I'm a high standard, Jojo. No, where it will really benefit me is if there's a huge headwind down the beach. Because then there's not really any hiding place, especially if the race is in bits, which, judging by what the locals say, and it is in bits. So if it's in bits, it's actually probably better for me, as opposed to, you know, a big fight of sort of, you know, 20, 30, 40 riders. Well, I've got to be realistic as well, because, you know, I'm only 3 weeks back into conditioning after illness and holiday, so I've got to be realistic. So obviously if it doesn't pan out the way I wanted to, then there's an excuse. No, there's a reason. And then I think, yeah, just I want to go as fast as I possibly can, because that's what's kind of scary for me in a sense, because I'm so new to the discipline of off-road that it's that, well, you know, because you do cyclocross, but, you know, it's being one with you're probably more at one with the bike than you are when you're on the road, because the bike often is a very sort of rudimentary tool when you're on the road. You pedal it, and it, you know, sometimes you don't have to steer for like hours, you know, unless you come to a roundabout or something. Whereas, you know, off-road is a completely new sensation of how the bike moves. So if I can do a performance I'm proud of with regards to dipping my toe into it, then that'll be enough for me, like. But yeah, no taper. We won't freshen up for it or anything. I've kind of got to keep my nose on the grindstone, as they say. What do you I'm in two minds. You know, obviously the 60 of you that are here watching still. Yeah, 100% Georgia. And because it's down the beach, it'll be easier. Yeah, I want to ask your opinion, and I know what you're going to say, I think. You're going to say yes, but so long as it doesn't get in the way of things. But, you know, like, generally I take a bit of a hiatus from Zwift racing, I suppose, through the spring, summer, autumn. I know what you're going to say, but do you think it's a good, does it parallel well with the stuff I do outdoors? Because sometimes I feel like, you know, there's obviously some races on Zwift I really enjoy. You're going to think I'm weird, but, you know, like the Uber Pretzel and stuff, and races that go event top, they really help. Especially this year, they're going to be very similar to what I'm doing outdoors. Whereas last year was a little bit different. But basically what I'm asking is yes or no. I want to do it, but I kind of feel like I've got to be able to do it on my terms. So sometimes I feel pressured to do like a race every week. You know, because we do so much of it in the winter. I feel like I have to do quite a bit of it in the, you know, I have to upkeep it then a little bit. But if I was to do like whenever it fits, so like maybe once every 10 days or once every 2 weeks, whenever I feel like, you know, it can really help, then are you okay with it being very random then, I suppose? Like, you know, you can't expect one every Tuesday, for example. It could be like, I'm just asking from a perspective of, obviously you're the viewer and I'm quote unquote the creator. But you know, when you watch things on TV and you're like, oh, I'm looking forward to Mandalorian every Wednesday night, you know. But like, obviously I can't commit to it every Wednesday. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that, guys. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Emma. Thank you, guys. Like I said, I kind of knew what you were going to say, but I suppose I needed to. Yeah, I'm a sucker for routine as well, yeah. I'm sick of the pain. So, rumour has it, Scott is doing some sort of challenge tonight, isn't he? 100 kilometres an hour on a hand bike on Zwift. If you YouTube search the Zwifter, I think, oh no, not the Zwifter, Zwifter, you should be able to find it. Ooh. Thank you, Phil. Yeah. Nice one, Tim. Thank you for stopping by. I'll speak to you soon. Oh, Emma, some of the stuff is too complicated anyway. The basics is sometimes all you need. Especially when you talk about aero as well. That's just another wormhole. I need a new car. Handicap hill climb. Me on Garsworth. Do you know those YouTube channels? Have you seen it? Some of you might have seen them. YouTube channels that do things like, you know, if you do more push-ups than me, win £100 or $100, whichever's less money. We could do, Philip. We could do first one to the top of Garsworth. Well, no. I guess if you beat me to the top of Garsworth, you get £100. I don't think that would work as well in cycling. Like, it obviously does very well. Like, these fitness YouTube channels and stuff, they seem to thrive off that stuff. Unless we could, you know. I guess that is something people want to watch. Can you beat Wales' best climber on on his local mountain? Yeah, that's it. Well, that is correct. The problem with that is then I handicap myself, don't I? Because I'm not. How short are we talking? If it's like a 1 minute climb, then I think I'll be giving away a lot of £100. Maybe that's a bad idea. Scrap it, scrap it. Well, the thing is, some videos, if I'm being totally honest with you, you know, like Cyclobra video, for example, you know, if a video performed that well, I could afford the video to pay for 3 people to beat me. So it all depends on how well, if you thought of it as like a how that would work. If it did well enough, then you'd be able to basically give the YouTube revenue to the people who watch the videos, or you know, or are fans of the channel, or are fans of just me in general, I suppose, or my cycling exploit. Oh, thank you, Emma. I'll see you on Saturday. Thank you. I better wrap it up, everyone. I better jump off. Time's getting on. Maybe I get people to send in their power numbers beforehand, and then I can say yes or no. That's what it has to be, long enough. It has to be a long enough climb, and I have to be in peak form. Otherwise, I'll just be giving out £100 every. I think there'll have to be a rule. So you can't be a professional cyclist, and you can't be an elite cyclist. So in theory, it's kind of, it gives amateurs a platform to show themselves. I think that would be the backstory. That would be the motive, or the motivation. Imagine if a young junior cyclist, for example, who is trying to make it, I'm not trying to make it, but like trying to, like, you know, get his name out there, and like the old school way of doing it would be to win a bike race, but like imagine if a video got 1 million views. I'm giving someone a very good idea now, aren't I? 1 million views, and that kid like you know, gets his name out there because he appears on a 1 million viewed video, and he gets given £100 for smashing a hill climb. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Anyway, #EdThoughts. Oh. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Some fresh faces, some new faces. Nice to see you all. I hope you have a good evening. And I hope things are going well for you on 2 wheels. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. Thanks for coming. And I will see you, hopefully before the weekend, with another video.